All right, here we are on the National Hurricane Center webpage here, and as you can see, we see the location of potential tropical cyclone number 9 here. Here is the latest info as of 5 p.m. It has a maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, a minimal central pressure of 1,004 millibars. So it's definitely deepening and strengthening as this goes forward. It's located 16.4 north, 65.6 west. It's moving west-northwest at 23 miles an hour, so it's moving pretty quickly. And the formation chances at 48 hours is 90%, and 5 days is 90%. And the only reason that this has not become tropical storm yet is because there are two areas here where low pressure can be, and they're both fighting each other over which low level center is going to be the most dominant one here. There's a blob to the southwest, and there's a blob to the northeast here. And what I think is going to be happening is the one to the northeast is probably going to be the dominant low out of the two. So I think the National Hurricane Center is waiting for one of those to really take over at this point in time, and then I would say by 11 o'clock we'll probably have the tropical storm fully. And I'm predicting that 11 o'clock will be 50 miles an hour. So that's that. Here is the latest actual advisories here. Heavy rainfall and gusty winds continue to spread over the Leeward Islands, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. So these areas are really getting whiplashed right now with 45 mile per hour winds and 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So that's something to really think about here as we go out through time, and they're going to be in it here for a little bit still, probably overnight tonight. They're still going to probably be in it. All right, here's public advisory number 6 here, and as you can see, it is moving west northwest or at 290 degrees. So throughout the day, the movement is heading more and more northwest as we have gone out through time today. And I do think that this heading will go up a little bit more before it levels out. But as for right now, it is moving, west-northwest. All right, here's all of your tropical storm warnings and stuff here. I'll just highlight this. You guys can read it at your guys' leisure. So these are the areas that are most affected by the system at this current point in time. So tropical storm warnings means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area within 36 hours. Tropical storm watch means that tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area, generally within 48 hours. So you still got a long ways in this to go, even though it's moving really fast. So with that being said, they do have tropical storm force winds, obviously, because they have it estimated at 45 miles per hour right now, and it extends pretty long out there at 275 miles from the center. That's primarily to the north of that. So yeah, that's a pretty big wind field, if you would do say so myself. And here's your rainfall totals. And in some cases, most cases, it's going to be 3 to 6 inches, and there's isolated amounts of 8 to 10 inches in some areas. And surf, you definitely got to watch out for the surf. Please do not go out in the waters during this storm, or you probably will, in most cases, get swept away. And I do not want to hear about people dying from rip currents or surf or storm surge for that matter. So please be inside and make sure that you stay safe. All right, we're gonna go to tropical tidbits here, and I'm gonna read out some of this more information for potential tropical cyclone 9. 16.1 north, 64.9 west. Maximum sustained winds are 40 knots, which is equivalent to 45 miles an hour. Gusts are at 50, which is equivalent to 60 miles an hour. Minimal central pressure is 1,006 millibars. Environmental pressure is 1,009 millibars. Radius of circulation is 180 nautical miles. Radius of maximum sustained winds of 150 nautical miles. So it's really getting it there. We're gonna take a look at the National Hurricane Center cone here. As you can see, we have tropical storm warnings littered throughout the whole Caribbean and the southernmost parts of the Bahamas, and we got tropical storm watches for the central Bahamas. I do believe that the tropical storm watches will be tropical storm warnings at 11 p.m. and these tropical storm watches will be posted for the western and north Bahamas tonight. And my prediction is that some of the east coast of Florida is going to see tropical storm watches as early as tomorrow morning or afternoon. So it's something to really pay attention to here in the southeast. As you can see, that the cone still has a lot of Florida in it. Now it's including Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina into that cone. So here we are. We're going to take a look at intensity guidance here. And as you can see, 40 knots, 45 miles an hour. That's where most of the guidance models are right now. And from here, it just stays pretty steady going forward. And in this red color, this is the GFS model, the AVNI, and it has it pretty much dying. But we cannot take our eyes off the HMNI or the HWFI because those are hurricane models, I do believe. And one HMNI has it going to Category 1, and the HWFI has it going all the way to Category 4. That's something this is something we hope that doesn't happen, but you know, if it does, I'll keep you guys posted for sure as we go out in time. Alright, we're going to take a look at the infrared here, and as you can see, it is trying to get its act together. And as I said before, I think what is happening, and people have been talking about this on Twitter, is that there's two low-level centers that are trying to fight each other to see which one is the dominant low. Here's a blob right here, and then there's a blob over here. I do believe, if you want my opinion, I do believe that the low-level center is right down in here. It's meeting right in the middle of both of the blobs. So I think what the National Hurricane Center is waiting for is one of these low-level centers to tighten up and close so we can have an official tropical storm out of this. And what I think it's gonna do, I think it's gonna go either over western Puerto Rico, or it's gonna thread the islands of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic here. So if it goes over Puerto Rico, it's gonna get disrupted, but not as much as it would if it went over Dominican Republic, where all the big mountainous terrain is. So that's why I am bumping my my estimated speeds to at least a Category 1, you know, strength at the moment. But as you said, as I've said in many videos in the past, all of this can change. We're still 3 or 4 days out from a potential Florida landfall, and you know, I'll be here with you guys the whole way through, barring if I'm not busy and everything. All right, we're gonna do something different here. Usually I look at the GFS and I look at the European, but I'm going to take a look at the 2 models that have been pretty much consistent on this whole thing the whole way through. And that is the German model, the Icon, and that's the Navy model, the Navgen. First, we're going to start off with the Icon model, and we're going to go out through time here. And here's our system right in here. It's 1,004 millibars. So the Icon is on ball as usual here. So here we go. As you can see, it goes right over Eastern Dominican Republic, but I think that's going to be okay for it, because the highest mountains are in the middle of the Dominican Republic. Like, there's a mountain top there that's like 10,000 meters high. So, you know, most cases, if the center is not really consolidated yet, The mountaintops may not disrupt it as much as it would if the center is consolidated and it's actually tight around the center. Because if it's not tight around the center, then it has more wiggle room to, you know, avoid the damage of the mountains. Anyways, here we are at 27 hours, and there's 30, 32, 33, and it looks like it's just getting off of the shore about 30 to 36 hours. After that, it starts taking off in strength as we head into the Bahamas. And it shows a landfall in eastern Florida here. So that's something to really pay attention to. 72 hours is only 3 days away. So it's something we gotta really pay attention to. Let's take a look at the wind speeds right here. This is where it makes kind of a landfall here. And it doesn't look like I can do that, so that's sadly a sad thing. But yeah, regardless, you know, we're gonna go out to 5 days out, and it looks like it makes landfall at the South Carolina North Carolina border. So anywhere from Florida to South Carolina and North Carolina really need to pay attention to what's going on here. And this is, as I said, this is 5 days out, so this is very much feasible for something like this to happen. Like, I'm not saying that it can't change in 5 days, because it definitely can, but it is definitely more possible for something like this to happen 5 days out than, say, like 10 days out. Alright, let's take a look at the nav gem here now. And just like the icon, it's right on the ball as well, 1004 millibars. And it seems to be right in here where that closed last circle is here. Alright, we're gonna go out. It looks like it goes right over the Tall Mountains of the Dominican Republic. As I said, if it's not that well organized, then it might not disrupt it as much if it was a tight course system. But it looks like it gets out unscathed, and it looks like it's going to really ramp up in strength too as we go towards the 90-hour time frame. So that's a 990 millibar storm, so that's a borderline hurricane there. Alright, we're gonna go out. Here's 5 days out, and that is definitely a hurricane, maybe a category 2 hurricane. And as I said, it's the same spot as the icon model, so the icon and nav gem have been both the same with each other throughout this whole thing. Let's see the wind gusts here, or the winds at the lower levels, which we can view those, so that's awesome. We gotta wait for it to load up here. And as you can see, there's purple shades, you know, indicative of those hurricane force gusts or sustained winds. So they got purples in there, which is about 64 to 80 knots of wind. So something to pay attention to going forward. And hold on, we gotta wait for this to load. And then once it gets into a North Carolina, you can see some whites even showing up, some lighter pinks and whites that are showing up. So, no, I'm not ruling out the possibility that this becomes a major hurricane, because I think it is on the table now at this point in time. As more updates come along, I will try my very best to get the updates out for you guys. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll have some more updates soon. Have a nice day.